In the shadow of Polk County's Chilhowie Mountain, 500 acres are set aside for a very special plant.
The soil is well suited to growing tree seedlings. It's got a little bit of a sandy component that allows for good drainage.
This is where trees are born and raised to a tender age, and then sent across the state to become new parts of old forests.
We normally will ship out about 5 or 6 million trees on average for the past few years.
John Kahn runs the state tree nursery near Delano. His passion is creating better trees for better forests.
That's the Nuttall orchard over there.
Exploring the nursery is like looking at the future of our forests, including 16 species of oaks, 5 species of pines, and even more.
We also grow yellow poplar, sweet gum, sycamore, black gum, elderberry, red mulberry, several shrubby dogwood species that tend to grow in wet areas, buttonbush. There's a whole bunch more that I can't think of right now.
Decades from now, some of these seeds will be towering walnut trees. The seeds are floated in water. The ones that sink are saved.
Before we sow them in the nursery, we remove the outer green part of the hull.
All this work, the gathering, planting, and careful nurturing of hardwoods and acres of softwood pines, might seem unusual, since it's easy to take trees for granted. But we shouldn't. Back in 1914, when the State Forestry Division was formed, lack of proper land management showed its ugly results. Gullies deep enough to dwarf a man were common. Ugly slashes in the ground caused by erosion. But state foresters were convinced they could save the land by planting trees. Several state nurseries were started, producing over 1 billion trees used to restore our forests, places like the North Cumberlands, where mining and logging have taken a toll. More hardwoods are needed to help support wildlife. That's what brings TWRA Wildlife Manager Justin Walden to the state nursery.
Oak is the primary hard mass producer for the animals that we are managing.
These oak seedlings will one day provide the food needed for a healthy animal population.
Our goal is to manage the forest for habitat and for a food source. So when we manipulate the forest and do things such as plant these seedlings, we're trying to do it for the benefit of wildlife overall.
There is a scientific process to all this. The good soil and sunlight enable John Kahn and others to carefully nurture the seedlings here, irrigating, weeding, and fertilizing at just the right time while monitoring genetic factors affecting growth and strength.
We try to evaluate our germination percentages and our sowing rates and everything to go for a specific density in the seed bed that produces the type of seedling we want for each species.
Most of the oak species will grow 70 to 100 feet tall and could end up in the swampy bottomlands of West Tennessee or the eastern mountains.
Hopefully the ones that come from this seed orchard will be a little faster growing maybe, or maybe straighter and have better form than the average Nuttall oak tree.
The pine and hardwood seedlings grown here not only support a multi-billion-dollar wood products business, they also restore the health of our forests and its inhabitants. It's a legacy of conservation to be proud of, and something to think about the next time you take a walk in the woods.